Well, good morning, friends. Welcome to the coffee run. I am coming to you live from the floor. I've been working out some frameworks. It's been a really cool and really fun couple of days. Actually, I was talking to you yesterday about how I know when I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed or I'm feeling stuck or I'm feeling just like bleh, that one of the best things that I can do is to get creative. Now, one of the things that that has been bubbling along that I've been really impatient about is I'm going to have a brand new stickery thing put up on my wall just behind here that I'm looking at now. And I'm going to paint this wall back here. But I've had all of these things. Hey, Jess. I've had all of these things that I've been wanting to do and appointments and clients and mentoring and all this type of stuff that's not enabled me the time to be able to do that. So what I was doing was I was inventing this stuff. And what's been really kind of curious, it's, it creates the space for different types of thinking, right? I think when we're moving stuff and we're putting things into different places and we're creating the space and the time for us to be able to actually get creative, often it will kick in when we're doing other things, right? So I've been thinking about the painting of the office. I've been thinking about the sticker I'm going to have, or the decal thing that I'm going to have put up. Sometimes when I'm at the gym, I'll have these really great ideas and it's just like, oh, bang, yeah, of course, And then it's like, okay, hey, like Jess, you and I were talking about getting in the kitchen and making shit. I won't do that because that doesn't light me up, but I know that it does you. And then that can be one of the things that really gets those creative juices flowing, right? So I felt like amidst all of this, what's really kind of curious is I've been chatting, number one, I've had a conversation with a couple of clients about a really sort of corporate way of thinking. And it led me to sort of think about one of the things, just getting comfortable on the floor, one of the things that I've kind of experienced over time. Now, I'm ex-corporate, right? So I worked in corporate for 12 years, very structured, thinking this is the way we have to do things. Hey, Carmen. And I think what's really kind of cool about that is that it gives us it gave me a really solid and firm foundation, and it enabled me to really create some structure in my world. So I'm typically, I would say that I'm kind of creative, I'm right brain, but I also really love the systemization and the structure of different things. Not necessarily just for me, but certainly for you guys, right? I've found that when I've been able to create and build systems that help you to think, it makes your life easier. So I love that shit. I really love the systemization. I really love the structure. I really like that kind of thing. But there is a whole lot of stuff around the corporate way of thinking, the systemization and the structure piece that I think can be really very, very limiting. So the example I'm going to share with you today is around your programs, right? And Launch It does start on Monday. This is the type of thing, I'll talk you through my methodology and I'll explain how Launch It sort of flows into that as well, so that you can see, number one, why it's relevant, but also number two, what you can do differently. So a very corporate way of thinking is that you've got one program or one kind of set of offers that you keep promoting and you just keep recycling, you keep delivering over and over again, you keep marketing, you keep talking about over and over again. Now, the theory behind this is that it keeps your marketing consistent, which is true, it does. The theory is that it doesn't confuse your audience, which is true. It won't confuse your audience. And I used to do this, right? So I feel like I'm very, very well qualified to speak into this particular thing. So the way that I used to do it was I used to run the same webinar week in, week out, twice a week, incessantly. And I pretty much did that from 2012 right the way through to pretty much 2017, the middle of 2017. So ran the same, very similar webinar. Different stories would come in, different experiences, different testimonials, different examples, obviously, because the more I grew, the more clients I had, the more stories I could tell, the more experiences I could tell. But really, I was pretty much going into the same program. So it bred consistency. Now, where that's helpful in your market is where if you're just starting out and you really need people to kind of get to know you, consistency is important, right? Consistency of message is really important. But here's where the corporate thing kind of fails, I think, because what we get, what's recommended is that we also keep the thing that we're selling consistent, right? So you keep selling the same 8-week program, you keep selling the same mastermind, you keep selling the same one-on-one stuff. And really what they would look at and what they usually kind of suggest, I guess corporate's not the right word maybe, traditional is probably the better word. Like they'll say, okay, so you've got your core, what's your core main offer? And your core main offer might be an 8-week educational program. Like I said, it might go into a retreat, it might be into one-on-one coaching and mentoring, and it might be into like a mastermind, right? So you normally have like 3 levels. And I worked that for years. I made millions of dollars rolling that out. It was great. And that is certainly one way of doing it. It helps you from knowing what you're selling from week to week. It helps you when you're having conversations with people. You've got this next thing coming up. You've got this next thing coming up, and things like that. The alternate is where you do things a bit more like what I've been doing this year, where it's like, you know what, the hell with that. Like, I need some variety. I really want some, I want freshness. I want fun. I want some, fast, quick wins for you guys. And so one of the things that I was thinking about is, and I always think about this, it's like, what's the thing that I could share, teach, educate, mentor you guys around right now that is going to help you get a really fast result. Now, typically, if a lot of people in cheaper programs that go for an extended period of time, their interest tends to wane, right? It's just what happens. Other things come up and they're just like, they just don't prioritize the learning, the implementation, the training. I've done this. I've actually just recently bought a program. I know how to use Instagram. I know how to use it from a positioning perspective, but I'm by no stretch of the imagination an Instagram expert. So I've actually bought a program to learn how to best use Instagram, not how to best use it, but how to best leverage it, how to grow it really big. I think we've got maybe 4,500 people that follow me on Instagram. And I'm just like, I don't know how to make it bigger and better, right? So I'm always learning. And so I bought this program, which is really cool. And I've consumed the first 2 modules, and I think there's 5 modules available right now. And I haven't created the time to actually go in and listen to them, listen to it and learn the things that I need to learn in order to actually be able to get a result. It wasn't a super cheap program, but it also wasn't, super expensive. So I know for me, I'm a great consumer usually of training and information, but I have found that without that financial push, which is like, I've gone and spent all of this money, I need to really make the most of it, I really need to learn the most out of it, I really need to do this, that, and the other, then, I kind of put it to the side. So for me, what I know works really well for me is I've got long-term mentoring relationships where I'm the mentee and I have a mentor. Like, that's always a long-term thing. But then the other thing that works for me is like short, sharp, punchy type things where I can get in, I can consume it, I can go and implement it, and then I can move on. And I found for a lot of my clients that this is the same type of thing. It gives them the motivation hit, it gives them that hit of Nicola crack, which I've been told before. It's like a Nicola crack. I need some Nicola crack. Not my butt crack, people. It's really bad because I'm quite anti-drugs. So anyway, we're going to have to think of a better metaphor for that. But for the meantime, we'll call it the Nicola kick. And so, I guess like that's what I was thinking, like with the programs that I've launched this year, is like, how can I fuck the money. Right, my decision at the start of the year was stop thinking about how to grow the revenue. Stop thinking about how to make money. Just, what do you want to create? What's going to be the thing that's going to help people the most? What's going to give them the Nicola kick? What's going to help them to create results fast, right? Knowing that if I'm coming at things from that way, the money will come anyway. It's an actual thing. It just has to. Or it wouldn't have, and then I would have gone and, closed up shop and gone and started renovating houses for a living, or I don't know what I would have done. I don't know, who knows? It didn't happen anyway, right? So this is really, I guess, like the more entrepreneurial, creative way of building your business is to have a look at going, okay, so one way I can go down this very certainty-driven corporate systematic type path where I've got one offer, I'm selling into that, and then I upsell into this other thing, and then I upsell into this other thing, and I just keep that the same things all the time for the next 2 years, right? That's usually what you get recommended, is like keep that running for the next 2 years so that your market can play catch up, so that they get it, so that they understand it, so they build familiarity, so it helps you with your consistency and yada, yada, yada. Now, not saying it's a bad thing. It is just one way. The alternate way, like I said, is this more creative entrepreneurial thing where you're like, okay, let's do something that's shorter. Let's do something where we go, okay, so what I want to talk about this week, what I'm really excited about and what the conversations I've been having with people have been about stepping into the spotlight, really owning your physical stance. Maybe it's about like what they're wearing, how they're showing up, how they're speaking, all of this type of thing. So, if that's, I've got to make a note. Hang on. I'm going to put that on my thing to build into my invention thing. I've just had a thought. So, if we've got this ability to launch things really fast and maybe market them for 2 weeks, you're going to be so fired up, so excited about it, right? Forget all of the technology, forget all of the upsells, downsells, video production, graphic designers, blah, 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 blah. Forget all of that shit. You don't actually even need it for a start. So one of the things that I think is really helpful is that if you can launch really quickly, if you can really create that and build up that high vibe, that excitement about what it is that you're selling, what you're offering, what you're about to create, people get swept up in that magnetism that is you. And then when you go out and launch it and then they consume it and it's all done and dusted within maybe a week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, sometimes 8 weeks, depending on what you're doing. By the time you finish the launch of that, you'll have other ideas where it's like, it makes sense now for me to go and deliver this next thing. And then it's like, okay, great, go and launch that. And then you're delivering at the same time as you're launching. So like, this is where like that energy kind of then, it feels like Abraham Hicks and Esther Hicks talk about the vortex, right? So to me, it's like this up-leveling kind of like tornado of the way that we oscillate, this increasing of frequency, and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And so like if the traditional way is like here, right? Whereas like when we're able to do things that feeds into the momentum, that works within your energy and your rhythms and the things that you're really excited to talk about, it actually makes your launches so much fucking better, because people are just like, oh my gosh, like how could I not be in this? Shut up and take my money. This is fucking insane. I'm so totally in. And so like, that's really what Launch It's about. It's like how you can build up this really powerful kind of vortex of energy that just sort of like kind of like feeds in and attracts your people to you. It magnetizes them to you, so that then you can, create massive transformation, so that you can create quick, fast, sustainable, and amazing results. Tess, hello, guess what I'm working on? I hope you're working on your launch of this next thing, your bundle, because it's going to be fucking epic and I'm really excited about it. So yeah, unless it's lead pages, and then I'm a little less excited about that. So like, that's really like what I want you to be thinking about, right? So whether you go into launch it or whether you don't, there are two ways, and both of these ways work. The thing that I'm really passionate about doing though is basing it on this launch it, the Let's Launch It methodology, which is fast, quick, create fast and sustainable results for your audience, for your people, get them with that Nicola kick, in like your version, and really build it up from there, because that's going to be the thing that excites your people. And then the other part about that, like we talk about the disco ball, right? So a disco ball is multifaceted. And I actually had this question from Jess via Voxer, I think yesterday. Or maybe it wasn't Jess. Somebody asked me this question where they've said, you know, maybe, I don't know who it was. Maybe it was Ash. Someone said, you know, it's always like you're launching different things, but there's similarities in it. Well, for me, of course, there's similarities in everything, because everything that I do is about being visible, right? It's about helping you to be visible. It's about you getting yourself out there. It's about you getting out of your own fucking way, stepping up, stepping in, standing up and standing out so that you can attract your people into you. That's what I'm all about. So every program that I release, there are going to be similar things in there, but with different focal points, different nuances, and different, you know, different things in there, obviously, because, you know, I've changed and grown and evolved probably since the last program as well. So in that sense, like, there will be some similarities in what you go and launch. Sorry, my hair's really pissing me off. There will be some similarities in what you go and launch out there from time to time, because, you know, you're going to be all about whatever your thing is. You know, if you're all about empowerment, then everything that you do, every program you launch is going to have empowerment at its core. If you're all about making things simple, then everything that you put out there is about making things simple. So your message is going to be really freaking consistent. The other part about that, you know, in terms of this disco ball thing, is that there'll be things that people see and they're like, you know what, like, that sounds really cool, but it's not really my thing. And then the next thing that they see is like, oh yeah, bam, you know, that's exactly the thing that I've been waiting for. And it might have been similar to there's lots of things, might have been similar to the previous thing that you were talking about, but it's got a different nuance. It's got maybe different stories. Maybe they didn't even see the marketing for this other thing. And then bang, when you're out there and you're talking about this particular thing, they're just like, shut the gate, hold the phone, shut up and take my money. Where do I sign? Right? So that's, you know, that's that. You know, it's kind of interesting because a lot of what I teach these days is really similar to the stuff that I've been teaching for years. Right? It's not actually that dissimilar. It's just I found different ways of being able to explain things. I found different ways of being able to educate. I found different ways of being able to inspire, motivate, pull this amazing stuff that you guys have inside your brains that's really powerful, that's really helpful, that's really fucking needed. I've got all these different ways now of being able to pull that stuff out so that you can now get out there and go and do the thing. And you know, yeah, it's really kind of similar, like a lot of the time, but it's also very different as well, depending on the frameworks that we're building in and the ways that I'm able to do that. So for you guys, how this works is you come up with an idea, which is really simple. You know, I help you with that. You go, all right, how am I going to structure it? That's okay. I help you with that. You go out there and you're like, okay, guys, you know, this is freaking amazing. You have to be in this. I can't believe I haven't thought about this before. Like, this is totally no-brainer. This is what we're going through. This is when we're starting, you know, in like a week and a half or 2 weeks time. And then bang, you just keep talking about it for a couple of weeks and people will give you money. It's really quite magical. So there you go, my friends. Launch it. We start on Monday. So it's like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 4 sleeps. Oh my God, I'm so excited. 4 sleeps until Let's Launch It kicks off. And we are, of course, going through messaging. We're going through what it is that you're going to launch, how you structure it, how you'll deliver it, how you'll price it, how you're going to market it. We're going to look at all of that stuff so that you can get out there with your programs, short or long. In a, you know, I mean, you can go like down that corporate formal route, traditional route if you want. And I can certainly help and support you around that. If you're wanting something that's a little bit more, you know, I don't know, like it's almost like fun and, you know, it's got some playfulness in it and you can kind of like, it's almost like, here's what I love about this. It's almost like you're putting on a show, right? It's almost like you're putting on a concert. And what happens in concerts is that they have, after every set of songs, or not all concerts, but many, if it was mine, they do costume changes, right? There's a costume change and there's like a whole different kind of like mood that gets created in the stadium. And then they have another costume change and then they come back out and then they create the mood all over again, like in a different way. It might be like really kind of like punchy and rocky, and then they come out and then they've changed their clothes and it's more ballads and things like that. So, you know, I think like that's what I really love about this way of launching it. Like it gives you the ability to wear different energies, almost like wear different stories and branding, and, you know, just gives you the chance to play. So I think that's what I really love about it, and I'd really love to be able to share that with you. So the links to be able to come in is nicolamoras.com.au/launch it, no spaces. 4 sleeps to go. There's pre-work sitting in there waiting for you right now. It's only $297, so, you know, it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. There are payment plan options available as well on the sales page. You'll see that there on the registration page. So that is it, my friends. If you want that high voltage, you know, like, you know, next level rock starness, then I think that's $497, and you've got payment options and stuff like that in there as well. All right. What's been really helpful, so interesting, you guys, is that each time I talk with you, I just have to make another note. Like I have these different ideas, right? So even just by talking to you guys this morning, I'm just like, oh yeah, that's a really cool concept. Oh yeah, that's a really cool things. So the more you allow yourself to play, the more you allow yourself to kind of sit in your genius, get in your zone, whether you're in launching mode or whether you're in relationship building mode, whether you're in marketing mode, the more you do this stuff, the easier it becomes. And I know a lot of you are scared. You're worried about it failing. I know that you're worried about looking like an idiot. I know that a lot of you worry about what your peers might say or what your clients might say, or, you know, whatever. And here's my stance on that. It's like, well, fuck that shit. Do the things that you feel like you need to do. Really own it and be you. Step into that real place of confidence, knowing that you've got the knowledge there, knowing that you've got the support, building it into a way that makes sense for you, and then just getting it out there. And you know what? The really cool thing about this stuff is that even if you do have other people that come in and like, well, actually you're wrong, or I don't agree with you, or you shouldn't have said that, or you shouldn't have gone and put a photo up where you're sticking your fingers up at the internet, Nicola, then, you know, there's this whole tribe of people that just kind of come back and they're like, you know what, you've actually got this. And if you're ruffling feathers, you're doing the right fucking thing. So, you know, this is about not just about you getting out there. It's also about building a really strong community around you who are also there to support you, to cheer you on and help you get this stuff out there. Because you know what, it's not easy putting your face out there. I get it. But at the same time, it's like if this is the price that we pay for changing lives, for creating transformation, for creating that freedom, the flexibility, the lifestyle, the money, the notoriety, the ability for you to be able to do what you want, you know, show your children by example that they can do what it is that they want. Maybe it's about showing, you know, other people being a role model. I don't know what it is for you. Regardless of what all of that is, you've got to be visible. You've got to step out there. You've got to make it happen. Otherwise, you remain the world's best kept secret. And that is a motherfucking tragedy. So there you go, my friends. I'm going to love you and leave you. I'm going to go and get ready for a coaching call and go and just capture these thoughts I've had while I've been delivering for you. So thank you so much for showing up. Hope to see you in Launch It. It's going to be a whole bunch of fun. Like I said, we start Monday. The link is in the comments. Have a great day, everybody. And I will be seeing you tomorrow on my husband's birthday. It is his birthday tomorrow. So I may not come to you at 11. It will depend on whether or not we're hanging out and doing the breakfast thing, or whether he's at work, breakfast, brunch, or whether he's going to work. Who knows? We will see what happens tomorrow. But if we are doing stuff, I will still talk to you at some point in time. It just may not be 11 a.m. All right, everybody. I'm really grateful for you. I'm really pleased to be able to help you with this. Get out there, go have an amazing fucking day, change some lives, go help some people, and remember that the world is ready for your brand of awesome. Mwah. Bye.